Elon. Elon, baby. Child. I don't think you understand what the First Amendment is. Sweet summer child, I don't think you get what's going on here at all. Okay? I don't think you get it. Yesterday on the Bird app, twitter.com, I think we witnessed the most important, the most jaw-dropping, the most important political scandal history, not even the country, history has ever known. All given to us by Elon Musk, who was looking to show people that the last Twitter administration was evil leftists here to interfere with the 2020 election cycle. And maybe Donald Trump was right about everything he said about the media and everybody being against him. We can find out here. Is it true? No. Well, maybe, I don't know. I'll let you all decide that. I'll let you all decide that. But we're going to look at something incredibly interesting here. I know that I didn't want to talk about Twitter too much more, okay? I wasn't planning to talk about Twitter. I promise. I know a lot of people are like, Shark, milking the Twitter train again. I know. But this time I think it's actually important, and we get to talk about something that I haven't touched on ever on this channel, which is Hunter Biden. And we get to facilitate that conversation through a friend of the stream, Elon Musk. So yesterday on the Bird app, Elon tweeted, "What really happened with the Hunter Biden story suppression by Twitter will be published on Twitter at 5 p.m. EST. And then he tweeted, "This is gonna be awesome," because he's gonna break the news and show everybody, the world, about the insane censorship that's going on to interfere in elections that may have put Donald J. Trump out of the White House. It's wild, truly insane stuff. I was like, what could possibly have happened to make people think that? And I'm so glad that Elon Musk was on the case to make sure that everything was in tip-top shape for it to happen. Oh, wait. We're double checking some facts, so probably going to start live tweeting in about 40 minutes. Okay, wait. So he announced it before they double checked some facts, apparently. He was just like, he was listen, he was excited. He got too ahead of himself that he wanted to show people what was going on. And then he had to, pull back a little bit. I understand. It happens. And the thing is, he's not even going to be tweeting this out. He's going to be tweeting it out through another person. Matt Taibbi apparently was a journalist or something. I don't know much about him. Other people probably know a little bit about him. I'm too much of a baby to know about Matt Taibbi, but apparently people were supposed to like him on the left. I don't, but it's not like things that Elon Musk and crew work very often. With that being said, we can't talk about this issue just yet about Hunter Biden and all of this wild stuff until we talk about. And so we can't talk about this story just yet until we get a little bit of a groundwork done on what exactly happened to get us to this point, because I know there's a lot of people who don't keep up with this issue, who don't know what's going on. And I feel like it's important to set the groundwork here so we understand the gravity of what's happening here. So 2 years ago was the 2020 election cycle. Donald Trump was still in office. I know it's been 2 years. Wild, isn't it? Donald Trump was still in office. Joe Biden was running for office, and he was the only person left standing between Donald Trump and remaining in the White House. Okay. So this is back in October 2020. Before October, there are some inklings about Donald Trump's son, his eldest son, Hunter Biden, who is known for, smoking crack, having sex with hookers, smoking crack off the ass cracks of hookers that he was having sex with. And did I mention he smoked a lot of crack? That's basically all that was really going on. That on top of the fact that he was suspected to be on a board for a company based in Ukraine and to do some dealings with some people who were connected to some people who were connected to the CCP. That's like the biggest things that were happening so far in the Hunter Biden world. Okay. And so, but everything kind of changed when it came to the story, when it came to Hunter Biden's laptop. And so back in October of 2020, a story dropped basically about how Hunter Biden went to go get his laptop fixed by a laptop fixer mechanic boy. And he never went to go pick up his laptop again. And so the laptop fixer did what any normal human being would do, is he cracked into the laptop and started surfing through the files on there. He found out that the laptop was owned by and had personal material of the vice president at the ex vice president at the time, Joseph R. Biden Jr. And so he decided to use this information to give it to other people. Project Veritas were some people that he gave it to. He also gave it to the FBI because he felt like that was the right thing to do, but he still looked through the information. And basically what happened after that was a long drip feed of people posting of Project Veritas and friends of Project Veritas posting images of Hunter Biden's penis and also videos of him smoking crack and having sex with sex workers. So basically that's all that was going on. Well, a couple of things that they were able to pull out, which was his connection to Ukrainian businesses and businesses connected to the CCP. Okay? The Chinese Communist Party. And that's basically what was going on. Now, Donald Trump, who many people were saying that he was not actually the favorite to win the presidential election, even though he was boasting that he absolutely was going to win and there was no possible way that he would lose to Sleepy Joe, was still looking for some way to get an edge on Sleepy Joe, who was hiding in his basement, let me remind you, so he can ensure that he wins this election. And so he took a big liking to the Hunter Biden laptop story and started to find out ways that he could possibly be able to discredit Joe Biden in the election cycle, so he can get some dirt on him, so he could pull the sort of last minute scandal from the Democratic side, so he can pull through a win by the skin of his teeth, the same thing he did with Hillary Clinton in her emails. And so what Donald Trump did is that he delayed military aid to Ukraine to pressure President Volodymyr Zelensky, who you can see who looks incredibly shook, who doesn't look very happy, sitting next to Donald Trump, as you can see. So this is the Volodymyr Zelensky, president of Ukraine that we know of today from the Ukrainian war. Donald Trump, back in the day when he was in office, he held back military aid to Ukraine so he could basically twist their arm to force through an investigation that Zelensky would do of the business that Hunter Biden was working at, and then give the information to Donald Trump so he could then use that information to discredit Hunter Biden as a roundabout way to discredit Joe Biden so he could finally win the election and not be kicked out of office like he ultimately was. So if you're wondering why the Ukraine war happened and why Russia's picked this time in particular right after Donald Trump left office, it's because he was actively weakening Ukraine's military for months on end to be able to twist their arm to get information about Hunter Biden for his election bid. It didn't work. And just so you know, this is what was the catalyst of Donald Trump's second impeachment trial and his second House impeachment, which was him breaking the law by withholding withholding aid that the Senate passed for Ukraine to go through. So this is how this happened, okay? So that's how this happened, okay? And so moving forward, when that didn't work and he put back Ukraine's aid and he wasn't able to twist their arm to be able to get a forced investigation into Joe Biden's son out of them, later that same month in October 2020, the New York Post drops this article, which a smoking gun email reveals how Hunter Biden introduced Ukrainian businessman to Vice President Dad. So basically, this was a big story about how they got personal information from Hunter Biden's laptop about how he was connected to this Ukrainian business and how that Ukrainian business board of directors was wanting to speak to Joe Biden. And so Hunter Biden showed that businessman to his dad, Joe Biden, and then nothing happened. That's it. That's literally the entire thing, is that a Ukrainian businessman met Joe Biden through Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. And that's it. But it was a massive story. And I'm not going to be scrolling through this article simply because there's a lot of stolen images and doxing that goes on here when it comes to showing a lot of the personal faces of people who are not public figures. Let me remind you, Hunter Biden is not a government official. Hunter Biden is not a government asset. Hunter Biden is barely even a public figure. Hunter Biden is simply somebody who works sometimes and smokes crack. That's basically it. And so I don't really want to show you a bunch of stuff. And this has been and so all of this that you've been seeing right now has been the catalyst for almost a 3-year-long conspiracy drip feed of showing people dox photos of Hunter Biden's penis and sad video clips of Joe Biden calling his son on voicemail and calling his son and leaving voicemail messages telling him that he loves him and that it's okay if he doesn't, it's okay if he has a drug addiction because he wants to help him get help and he can go to therapy and it's okay because he still loves him. That's basically all that's been happening now. But there's some idea of some overarching massive plan to destroy the country and make us all speak Mandarin Chinese by 2025. Okay? And so now that we're all caught up on what happened, let's talk about what happened just that time that's the catalyst for what we're talking about today. The New York Post had this article, which once again has images and personal information of a private citizen in which they got basically kind of illegally through somebody leaking something through another person who had no right to the piece of property that they had. And so the people at Twitter, the content moderation team at Twitter wanted to ban the content. And so they did. Not only did they ban the content, they took pretty remarkable steps that they don't do typically, which is ban any links to New York Post because people were trying to just do roundabout links and they banned links to the article specifically. And they banned people trying to share information of that article because they didn't want what they said was leaked and hacked materials on the platform because Twitter had rules against you posting hacked material online. Okay. And this happened about a month before the 2020 election cycle happened. And a lot of conservatives were bemoaning the fact that this was 100%. This was 100% going to be the downfall of Joseph R. Biden Jr. And because of that, millions of people across the country voted for Biden when they otherwise wouldn't, I guess, because of his son smokes crack. Also revenge porn. Yes, also basically this is one massive revenge porn plot to name and shame and disappear the president's son. Just so you all know what's going on here, okay? That's what's happening at this moment in time. Now, fast forward into the future. Let's talk about what happened here. Now that we're all actually wrapped up on what happened. A little over a month ago, Elon Musk takes over Twitter. And now he's doing this, where he leaks all the information to Matt Taibbi, which is a journalist. And he says, here we go, popcorn, here we go. And as they go through the thread, and Matt Taibbi does a long drip feed, 2-hour long, 36 tweet thread about everything that he found in the material that Elon Musk gave him. And when I say everything, I mean everything. He even posted some things that he wasn't necessarily supposed to, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Let's talk about what was actually posted really quick, okay? So we'll be skipping around here because we don't need to look at literally everything that was posted. You don't need to read everything, but we can look at some of the important stuff that happened. One of the most scandalous things that was posted so far, at least to the right, was here number 8. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. And here is an email between two people who are working in the content moderation team for Twitter saying more to review from the Biden team. And then somebody replied, handled. Okay. So they handled these tweets. All right. So before this was Matt Taibbi setting the stage to say that this is one of the most important scandals that the world has ever known. On top of that, he does an ominous sort of like coupled tweet thread in the beginning of this talking about how Twitter used to be a hallmark of free speech, but slowly over time they were corrupted by censorship. And then slowly companies wanted to have Twitter remove things. At first it was slow, but then it was very fast. And now they remove everything that you ask them to do. Stuff like that, right? And so they said that this was handled, okay? And then here's some other stuff about it, about why internally they banned this. And they said, this person here, hi Caroline, thanks for reaching out to us. Per checking, the user was bounced by site integrity for violation of our hack materials policy, adding them here for further insight and guidance. And so what this was supposed to be, what all of this really was supposed to be, is a expose of how Twitter did censorship on behalf of the government of the United States to interfere with an election so they could win, okay? There's some holes to this story, and we'll talk about them in a moment. But so far, what we've seen, the worst things to happen from this were basically the most even close to scandalous things from this were internals of Twitter basically just arguing and debating in and of them between themselves about whether or not they should ban this and why they should ban it and what justification they should have for banning something. It's all incredibly uninteresting stuff. It's just a bunch of emails back and forth of people talking to each other about whether or not this should be banned and for what reason, which is honestly a little interesting because they wanted to show there was sort of like top down big censorship move, but apparently a lot of people in the organization even disagreed with the motion, and they had a healthy debate about whether or not it should actually be banned. And at the end of the day, if you remember, they actually lifted the ban less than a week after they made the ruling banning it in the first place. The head of trust and safety team made the decision, and after a couple days, they realized that they made the wrong decision as per the team, and then they reversed the decision, right? So all of this so far is all incredibly uninteresting, and we've learned literally nothing, okay? And so on this, here's a little bit more of them just arguing amongst themselves. Can we truly claim that this is part of the policy? Everyone knew this was fucked. Another person arguing, basically saying that they made the wrong decision. And every single time something that is supposed to be scandalous comes up, basically it says that Matt Taibbi came out to say that both teams were doing this. Both parties had access to these tools in which they could request to remove content. So I'm not sure if you guys know how this works when it comes to social media platforms, but basically what happens is that you can say, hey guys, I think that this should be removed because it's harmful and bad and against TOS. And they have a line in to do that. Both Trump and Biden during the 2020 election had the ability to do that. And both Trump and Biden made requests for things and material to be removed from the platform. Obviously, it makes sense for Joe Biden not to want his son's penis to be proliferated online when he's a private citizen and he's running for president, okay? When his son is a private citizen and while he's running for president, and so they requested for the material be removed, but it's not like Joe Biden had some like big arm there forcing people to be removed, and so he's going to be like, well, both of them had ability to do that. However, actually it's tilted into the Biden's favor because a lot of people who are working at Twitter are Democrats, and so they hate Donald Trump because they mean and stinky, which doesn't really make much sense why he would put blame here on the Democrats and say that they were the ones who had most of the leverage when only one party here was in government at that moment in time. Do you know that one party that was in government? It wasn't the Biden team. It was the Trump administration. And he says it right here, the Trump White House and the Biden campaign. And so this is incredibly curious why he said this, because this actually contradicts Elon Musk on his explaining of this information directly, because Elon is sitting here and he's like, yo, handled. That's crazy. And so just so you know, this doesn't say I removed all this stuff. He said they handled it. They resolved the situation. When they don't just ban everything that a political party tells them to ban. Did Elon Musk ever go through and check if any of these links were actually banned by Twitter? He probably has the information to do it. No, he didn't. Did he check to make sure that all of these were TOS? No, he didn't. He just said, I can't believe they did their job, which is when they get a takedown request, they review it. I can't believe that happened. And then he went on to say something incredibly stupid, which is, this is in violation of the Constitution's first. If this isn't a violation of the Constitution's First Amendment, what is? Elon, baby, child. I don't think you understand what the First Amendment is. Sweet summer child, I don't think you get what's going on here at all. Okay, I don't think you get it. And the big problem for Elon Musk is because what he gave to Matt Taibbi goes in complete contradiction to what he's been pumping up this story as in the first place. Here you go to tweet number 22. Although several sources recalled hearing about the general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there is no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. No government involvement whatsoever. And just to make sure that I'm not like mincing Elon's words, he specifically said one of the big reasons why he wanted to show this was Twitter acting by itself to suppress free speech is not a First Amendment violation, but acting under orders from the government to suppress free speech with no judicial review is. And so this is my boy Elon literally saying that he has no clue what's going on, and he thinks that the Biden presidential campaign is apparently a government organization and government body in which he needs to be able to keep a hold of, or else it's a free speech violation. The Biden campaign had no power over Twitter. And by this definition, if you're going to say that this is by Joe Biden asking for them to remove something from Twitter, if that's what you call a violation, then by that very definition, Donald Trump, who was in office, who by Matt Taibbi, with the information that Elon gave to him, means that Donald Trump here is the only person who violated free speech and committed a crime, because he was the only person who was holding a government position at this moment in time who reached out to Twitter to ask them to remove something from their website, which, mind you, a request that they didn't have to honor. All they did, well, honor as in they had to remove. They just didn't have to remove it. They reviewed all of them, but they didn't have to remove them. So right now, what I'm looking at is a massive dud, a massive, huge, massive nothing burger of political memes going on here. But on top of that, years ago, actually, about a year ago at this point in time, the FEC even commented on this to say that the same FEC that Elon Musk is having trouble with at this moment in time literally said that Twitter acted within its legal right to restrict the New York Post article with Hunter Biden. So even they reviewed the entire situation. And if you don't think that the FEC had information of what was going on in Twitter, then please reach out, because I have a shitcoin to sell you. It's going to the moon. All right. All you need to do is give me your entire savings account is very real in money. And I promise you, you'll 1000x your investment. I promise you. It'll work out amazingly. I promise you this. So he's busy hyping this up as some like massive constitutional violation of free speech when it's just Twitter doing what their job. Actually, it's literally just them doing their job. And on top of that, remember when I said that not only did Elon Musk give Matt Taibbi things that he was supposed to post, but also things that he wasn't, and Matt Taibbi was posting things that he wasn't necessarily supposed to post? When I said that this story was a massive nothing burger, I actually kind of lied, because we did actually get something from this, massive 2-hour long tweet thread. We got the personal information of Jack Dorsey and representative from California, Ro Khanna. Because Matt Taibbi just started dumping everything that Elon Musk gave him, and Elon Musk didn't withhold the personal information of those two people when he gave all of the information to Matt Taibbi to post. And so in his thread, if you click around, you'll actually find that there are going to be a couple of posts in the thread that were actually deleted. Now, the reason why those posts were deleted is because Matt Taibbi, before looking and thinking about what he was posting, posted images and emails of the personal email, not the public, the personal private email accounts of Twitter, of former Twitter CEO and founder Jack Dorsey and California House member Ro Khanna, before he had to sneakily delete it and then make no mention that he actually did. And so multiple people inside who used to be inside of Twitter and interacted with Twitter, and Ro Khanna, just mind you, the role that Ro Khanna has in the story is that he reached out and asked Twitter to actually reinstate the New York Times story because he felt like it was going too far. And so he actually was one of the big Democrats who were pushing for, who said that Twitter actually made a mistake. And then he got the shit end of the stick by getting doxxed by Elon Musk and his new boyfriend, Matt Taibbi, which honestly is genuinely remarkable here. And so at the end of the day, we're left with this. a nothing burger of a story in which we have not learned anything new. The personal information of Jack Dorsey and Ro Khanna, who now need to get a different email account because they can no longer use the ones they have because now they're being flooded with, I would imagine, a bunch of like death threats and shit from hardcore right wingers who believe that this is some sort of massive hoax, scam, and attempt to steal the election when, let me tell you, nobody cares about the Hunter Biden story. Okay, they're going to be crying and bemoaning the fact that nobody is sitting here and talking about this over and over and over again. This has been going on for almost damn 3 years, and they're still talking about how nobody's talking about it. Well, nobody's talking about it because it doesn't matter. Nobody's talking about it because nobody cares. I'm sorry. I've been dodging this story. The reason why I've been dodging this Hunter Biden story, I'm going to tell you this, 90% of the reason is because I don't want to see Hunter Biden's cock. And if you look into the story, you're going to see multiple images of Hunter Biden's cock. And I don't want to see his penis. I don't want to see him using a crazy straw to slurp cocaine out of a hooker's asshole. Okay, I don't really want to see that. But those are the only pictures that the people on the right care about. And outside of making insane stories of conspiracy theories about the big guy, I don't, and like making fun of him for having a drug addiction, I don't know what more to care about when it comes to the story. Even Elon Musk and all of his money and all of his ability to see everything that goes on behind the scenes still wasn't able to wasn't able to turn this absolute turd into a shining piece of gold of a story that he wanted to actually boost up Twitter and do anything to turn around his dying platform. Okay, this is what Elon Musk is worrying about when his website unironically is having to resort to dying big box mall store tactics of offering buy one get one free deals to advertisers to make sure that his Twitter isn't losing more than $5 million a day. Okay, that's what's going on here. This is what he's spending his time doing. And if you think I'm joking, here, let me show you. Advertise booking at least $500,000 in incremental spending would be matched with up to $1 million cap. So just so you know, this is the sort of like corporate feel good, like lipstick on a turd way that you say, buy one, get one free. Hey, so honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Things are going so bad at the on the financial end for Twitter that honestly, soon Elon Musk is going to have to stand outside of the like Twitter HQ, twirling a sign and telling you that you can get a buy one get three free deal. Just please, somebody do something. The deals that they're doing now are like back out at any time. We'll give you all of your money back. You get more ads for free. Just please buy something. Please do something. I beg of you. It's really sad. It's really sad. Things are over. Okay. And this is the only thing that he can do. This is the last the death rattle from this man to do anything to save his dying platform. This is just a cry for help at this point. If you're wondering why he decided to do this, for one, he doesn't like the left. And two, he thought it was going to make him a little bit more money by bringing more traffic to Twitter to see what was going on. That's why instead of making an actual article, he decided to do it in like a sort of tabloid post where he sends somebody to make 27,000 tweets in a row. Okay, that's what's happening. A literal nothing burger that somehow still smells like shit, and we're all going to have to deal with it. The saddest thing about this, honestly, is the fact that a bunch of conservatives are going to start talking about this forever, and we're never going to see the end of this. We are never going to hear the end of this absolutely nothing burger story. Donald Trump is going to be talking about it all on the campaign trail. The next election cycle, everybody on the right's going to be talking about it. Nobody actually who matters is going to be talking about it, but everybody on the right's going to be talking about it. And we're just going to have to hear this over and over again as they sit here and pretend, while they reminisce about the good old days of what could have been, which apparently the only thing that was standing in between Donald Trump and winning the election was 4 days of a New York Times article about Hunter Biden smoking crack out of a hooker's vagina. So how cool. I'm so excited. Wow. Come here. Oh. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.